Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we try to cut through the noise and get straight to the insights that, well, really matter. You know, it feels like the world is spinning faster than ever these days, doesn't it?
It really does.
From escalating geopolitical tensions to new challenges popping up seemingly daily, there's just this sense of turbulence.
Yeah, uncertainty seems to be the baseline now.
And yet, amid all this, innovation doesn't just stop. Sometimes it feels like it speeds up, almost defiantly. It makes you wonder, how do projects, especially in these, cutting-edge areas like decentralized tech, how do they keep focus? How do they keep moving forward when the ground feels so shaky?
That's a great question, and it really hits at the core ethos of a lot of these forward-thinking initiatives.
Yeah.
The ability to just, keep building, keep pushing forward with that sense of purpose, especially when the old systems seem to be faltering or getting tangled up in conflict. It says a lot about their core beliefs.
Right.
It suggests this deep conviction that what they're building isn't just a reaction to today's news, but maybe a longer-term solution, something designed to perhaps even help mitigate that instability down the line.
That's the perfect way to frame today's deep dive, actually. We're plunging into the latest SORA ecosystem updates. Specifically, their update, #88 from June 2025.
Yes, the Medium post.
Exactly. It wasn't just some dry technical report. It was shared as this, pretty compelling Medium blog post dated July 11th, 2025. It's short, a 7-minute read, they say. But when you look closely, it's packed with more than just tech updates.
Definitely. It blends the technical progress with this really profound philosophical stance on why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
And what struck me immediately is how they pivot. They acknowledge the global instability, the chaos, and then just declare, but we keep on building. And that's not just talk, right? It feels like a deliberate framing. It positions their tech as this resilient counter-narrative.
A counter-narrative, I like that.
Yeah, like their work isn't just advancing technology. It's about sustaining hope, maybe. Offering practical solutions when things get tough. Technology as, like, a bulwark against the chaos, an alternative path.
Exactly. So our mission today is to unpack this Medium blog post, pull out the most important bits of knowledge, the key insights. We want to help you understand not just what SORA is building, but crucially, why it matters, especially now in this global climate where you really can't ignore the human impact of world events.
Agreed.
Okay, let's unpack this. This update really hits differently, doesn't it? Tying the tech progress so directly to these real-world humanitarian concerns, to resilience.
It absolutely does. What's fascinating here is how they frame their development work not in some...
Okay, with that mission set, let's get into SORA's world right now, mid-2025. Our first segment, the SORA ecosystem in mid-2025, a snapshot of resilience and evolution. It kicks off with this powerful "you are here" moment right from the blog post. They just state, already halfway through 2025. Simple phrase, but it kind of makes you stop and think, wow, time flies.
It does, and it's more than just marking time, isn't it? It immediately grounds the whole update in this very real, very present global situation. They're not pretending it's not happening. They lean right into it. Some pretty stark observations.
Yeah, no kidding.
This isn't a team working in a vacuum. They're clearly plugged into the world's pulse.
And what a pulse. They immediately highlight the geopolitics. Ongoing wars have reached critical mass, ceasefires have been attempted and failed, and a potential world war has been teased.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's incredibly blunt for what you might expect from a tech update. It paints a grim picture, sure, but probably an accurate one, sets a really serious tone.
And that bluntness feels intentional because it's against that backdrop, that really unsettling picture that SORA makes its declaration, but we keep on building.
Right. The core message.
Exactly. And it's not just a casual remark like, oh, well, we'll keep coding. It sets this powerful tone, unwavering commitment, despite the chaos outside, and suggests this really deep-seated belief within the project that their work matters fundamentally, maybe even more so when things are turbulent. It positions what they're doing as essential.
It definitely speaks to a belief in decentralized systems as maybe an alternative, a more resilient path.
I think so. A path that can maybe function even when the traditional ways are breaking down.
So this stance, acknowledging the chaos but building anyway, it makes you wonder about the team itself, their internal resilience. How do you keep that focus, keep morale up when global stability feels so threatened? What does that say about their core conviction, their culture?
Well, it suggests a really strong sense of mission, doesn't it? When you tie your tech roadmap directly to that kind of stark global reality, it's strategic. they're not just coding features. They're actively building that counter-narrative to the strife. So I think their conviction comes from seeing their work as foundational, as building alternative systems, resilient systems that might need to operate even if or when the old ones falter or get, weaponized.
So the resilience comes from the belief that the work is critical infrastructure.
Exactly. Critical infrastructure for a future that might need to work differently, not just for good times, but for survival, for empowerment when things get tough. That's a powerful motivator.
And to back that up, to show they have a plan, they mention the SORA integrated plan.
Right.
They say it's up to date, and you can find it online at sora.org plan.
And that's not just a throwaway link. It's transparency. It's saying, here's our blueprint, check our work. It signals that they're not just reacting day to day. There's a clear roadmap. For you, the listener, knowing there's this public plan, it adds weight. It shows strategic thinking. In a world full of uncertainty, having that plan, that guiding document, it's a crucial anchor.
Like a strategic brief.
Exactly. It keeps everyone aligned internally and externally. It builds trust. It underpins that resilience we were just talking about. Clarity of purpose.
Okay, so that commitment requires a solid technical base, right? Let's peel back some layers now and look at the tech side. The challenges, the progress in their SORA v2 foundations. This brings us to segment 2. They talk about the Kusama parachain and something called the core time saga.
Right.
They say enriching substrate hasn't been the main focus lately. Instead, the immediate job is updating the SORA Kusama parachain runtime for JAM core time compatibility.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. It's technical, but important. Substrate, think of it as the toolbox Polkadot and Kusama are built with. Let you build custom blockchains.
Got it.
SORA runs as a parachain on Kusama. So it's its own blockchain, but it connects to Kusama's main relay chain for security and to talk to other chains.
Okay.
Now, core time is basically the processing power, the compute resources that SORA leases from Kusama to run its transactions.
Like renting processing time.
Exactly. And JAM is Polkadot's next-gen upgrade for how this core time is managed, meant to be more efficient, more flexible. So updating their runtime for JAM compatibility means they're future-proofing, making sure SORA can run smoothly and efficiently in this evolving Polkadot Kusama ecosystem. It's essential housekeeping, really, but forward-looking.
But it's not all smooth sailing. They flag a real challenge here, one impacting users. A few users with stuck bridge transactions.
Ouch. Yeah, that's never good.
And they apologize for it, linking it directly to scarce core time, which they say is seemingly hoarded in the secondary market.
Ah, the hoarding issue. Yeah, that's a classic problem in these kinds of resource-limited systems.
What does that actually mean, hoarded in the secondary market? And why does it lead to stuck transactions?
Well, it means the available core time, that processing power they need, isn't easily available or it's super expensive because some entities are buying it up. Maybe speculatively, hoping the price goes up, or maybe big players securing it for themselves.
So it creates bottlenecks.
Exactly. Huge bottlenecks. And for a user, a stuck bridge transaction is incredibly frustrating. Your funds are just gone, in limbo. Not on the sending chain, not on the receiving chain.
Nightmare fuel for users.
Absolutely. It hits user experience, trust, everything. And fixing it. It's often manual, complex, takes time and resources to untangle.
So if core time is fundamental and it's scarce or hoarded, what's the fix? They say they're monitoring closely and securing core time, with sales starting July 21. How does that help the average user?
Okay, so monitoring shows they're aware and actively managing it. The direct sales starting July 21st sound like the key. It probably means SORA is trying to bypass that secondary market, the hoarders, and buy core time directly from Kusama itself.
Cut out the middle.
Pretty much. Get a more predictable supply, maybe at a more stable cost. This should directly help users by ensuring SORA has the processing power it needs for smoother, faster, more reliable transactions, especially those tricky bridge ones.
So fewer stuck funds, hopefully.
That's the goal. It's a practical fix for a market-based resource crunch, improving network function, restoring that user experience.
Okay, moving on from core time, they also mentioned optimizing validator rewards. They're planning to reduce validator reward claim fees to 110th of what they are now. Seems like a small technical detail.
It seems small, but yeah, it could have some pretty positive ripple effects for the network's overall health and decentralization. The stated goal is enabling more frequent claims to boost nominators and node runners.
Right. Break that down for us. Validators, nominators.
Sure. So in proof-of-stake systems like this, validators run the servers, process transactions, secure the network.
Okay.
Nominators are users who back these validators with their own tokens, delegate their stake, and get a share of the rewards. Now, if the fee to claim those rewards is high, people might wait longer to collect them. That can tie up funds, maybe make people less engaged.
Less active participation.
Exactly. So by slashing that fee, making it 10 times cheaper, SORA makes it easier and more worthwhile to claim rewards more often. This helps node runners with their cash flow, makes operating more viable. For nominators, it makes their earnings more accessible.
So it encourages more activity, more staking.
Potentially, yes. Better economic incentives can attract more participation, which ideally leads to a more decentralized and therefore more secure and robust network. It's a subtle tweak, but it's about optimizing the network's internal economy.
That's a great point, how those small dials can tune the whole system. Okay, let's bridge worlds now in segment 3. Looking at the SORA wallet and the SORA card innovation, this is still under the SORA V2 umbrella. First, the wallet. They mention iterations of the SORA wallet supporting partner initiatives are being built and tested.
Okay. This sounds like they're not just building the wallet for their own ecosystem, but looking outward, integrating with other projects, businesses. The phrase, promising potential for the network's infrastructure and self-custodial wallet with partners, suggests these could be pretty significant collaborations.
Expanding SORA's utility.
Right. Using their core tech, especially the self-custodial wallet where the user always controls their keys to power other things. Could be custom wallets for specific communities, maybe integrating into other platforms, enabling DeFi or commerce for partners. Lots of possibilities.
And then they drop this. Details must remain confidential. For now, no spoilers today.
The classic confidential tease.
All right. Always makes you curious. Suggests something big is cooking behind the scenes.
Absolutely. Standard practice in tech, especially for major partnerships or before a big launch. It means it's likely something significant enough they don't want competitors getting a heads up or they're coordinating a joint announcement.
So not just minor tweaks.
Probably not. For us listening, it signals potentially transformative stuff is coming. Collaborations that could really broaden SORA's real-world use and user base. Builds anticipation.
Okay, then the SORA card itself, they say it has made significant progress. Good to hear. And the key feature sounds genuinely useful. Users can now swap ETH, BTC, USDC, and more within the SORA card app to and from fiat. They call it the most robust on-off ramps service available.
Okay, that is significant. A smooth on-off ramp is the holy grail for usability, right? Bridging crypto and regular money seamlessly.
Definitely.
Calling it the most robust is a bold claim. If it holds up, it implies things like speed, lots of supported coins and fiat currencies, good rates, global availability. Building that is technically complex. You need liquidity providers, accurate real-time rates, secure payment processing, all sorts.
So for the user, it means easy conversion. Buy stuff, cash out crypto easily.
Exactly. It aims to remove that friction, make crypto genuinely practical for daily life. Positions the SORA card as a potential primary gateway.
But as always, there's a flip side. They acknowledge security measures and delays, mentioning malicious intent attempts.
Ugh, the dark side of finance.
And the resulting enhanced security measures, which unfortunately leads to some delays in onboarding, offboarding, and receiving transfers due to case-by-case reviews.
Yeah, and here's that classic tension again. Smooth user experience versus ironclad security, especially in finance. Mentioning malicious intent fraud, money laundering attempts, etc., is just being realistic. Any service bridging crypto and fiat is a target.
So the extra checks are necessary.
Absolutely. Those enhanced security measures likely mean stricter KYC/AML, better transaction monitoring. The case-by-case reviews mean sometimes things slow down while a human looks at a transaction or an account. It's inconvenient for sure. But their justification, these measures exist for your security and everyone's safety and compliance, shows they're prioritizing protecting users and staying compliant. It's a necessary friction in this space, unfortunately.
They do offer a potential workaround, though, noting you can bypass these hassles by using XOR.
Interesting. That suggests using SORA's native token, XOR, might streamline things within their ecosystem. Maybe fewer external checks needed for XOR transactions. It's a way to subtly incentivize using their own token.
And they add that they expect XOR swaps within the app later this year.
Right, so integrating XOR even more tightly, allowing direct XOR to fiat swaps within the app itself, not just other major cryptos. That boosts XOR's utility, its liquidity, right inside their main user-facing product, reinforces the native token's role while improving the overall service.
Okay, this brings us neatly to segment 4. And this is where the tone really shifts, I think. They introduce SORA v3, not just as a tech upgrade, but framing it as a humanitarian revolution.
Yeah, the language gets really strong here.
They jump right into addressing skepticism, quoting users asking things like, why do all this? Who wants to use CBDC anyway? Isn't it just a way for the government to control how you spend your money?
Very common fears in the crypto world, especially around anything that sounds like centralized digital currency.
Totally. And SORA's response is blunt. They say, well, Greg, this isn't a credit card service, so you can relax about your dirty laundry being aired in public. We are focused on the bigger picture.
Wow, okay. So drawing a very clear line. This isn't about surveillance like people fear with some CBDCs. It's about something else entirely. They're directly countering those fears of control, emphasizing privacy and a different goal, setting themselves apart immediately.
Exactly. They want you to know this isn't about tracking your coffee purchases.
Yeah.
Then they pivot straight to that bigger picture. Connecting back to the geopolitics we mentioned earlier, political and religious leadership, armies, hearts, minds, and opinions are all divided.
Right, setting the stage again, the fractured world. And then they ask that crucial question, but who is left without resources on the ground? Pointing out that real people are being left out of the system. And that shifts it from abstract tech to a very real human problem. Think about conflict zones, banking collapses, aid gets blocked, people are cut off, financially stranded.
Totally disenfranchised.
Exactly. And that's the specific problem SORA v3 seems designed to tackle. A lifeline, not just a financial tool.
And they really lean into the empathy for these forgotten victims, describing them as victims of the choices being made for them, left out of the system, they own nothing, and unfortunately for Klaus, are not happy.
That's quite a statement. The Klaus reference, likely a dig at Klaus Schwab and the WEF, often seen as representing global elites.
Seems pointed.
And then the jab at Karstens, every day is Taco Tuesday, who has the interests of big banking as a priority.
Yeah. Who's Karstens again?
Augustin Karstens, head of the Bank for International Settlements, basically the central banker's bank.
Yeah.
A big proponent of traditional finance and CBDCs. The Taco Tuesday bid is just dripping with sarcasm.
So they're positioning themselves against the establishment.
Very much so. It's saying, while the big financial players are doing their thing, maybe disconnected from real struggles, we're focused on the people actually suffering, the ones left behind by the current system. It's defiant.
Okay, this makes it crystal clear who SORA v3 is not for. They explicitly say, not for the moon boy or the day trader or the broker, shilling ETFs to pensioners.
Yeah, shutting down that whole speculative crypto bro image.
Totally. They're drawing a line in the sand against the get-rich-quick crowd that dominates so much the crypto narrative.
Then right after saying who it's not for, they say who it is for.
Yeah.
It is for the person whose money has become so worthless they cannot even afford to subsist, let alone overcome.
Wow. That's powerful.
It really is. It defines their target user as someone in absolute dire straits, hyperinflation, economic collapse, completely cut off. And the goal isn't yield farming or chasing high returns. They explicitly say they're not getting bogged down in the details of yield earned.
Right.
Instead, SORA v3 aims to make the difference between having a meal, getting medical assistance, or even being able to travel to school.
So fundamental life-sustaining impact.
Exactly. Think decentralized aid that actually reaches people. Peer-to-peer payments for food when banks are closed. An inflation-resistant digital currency accessible on a basic phone. That's the kind of tangible, life-changing difference they seem to be aiming for.
That focus is incredibly different from most crypto projects. But, I mean, the challenges of delivering on that kind of humanitarian promise using crypto must be huge, right?
Oh, immense. You've got infrastructure issues in crisis zones, internet access, electricity, digital literacy barriers, complex regulations or lack thereof, just the logistics of onboarding and supporting vulnerable populations. It's massive.
So how does this bold stance differentiate them, besides just stating it?
Well, they don't just state it. They use it to actively critique the rest of the crypto space. They say there are enough shitcoins and networks bringing temporary satisfaction to degenerates reading candles.
Whoa, okay. Pulling no punches there.
None at all. It's incredibly dismissive, designed to shock and to draw that contrast. They see a lot of crypto as frivolous, purely speculative, ultimately meaningless in the grand scheme of things. They're rejecting that whole narrative.
And then they circle back to their mission to make a concrete difference, bridging the gaps that the legacy system affect the lives of real people.
Right, their core motivation. building a system designed to resist the flaws and external pressures political, corporate people that they see harming vulnerable people in the traditional system. They see the current ways as too easily manipulated, leading to exclusion.
And then comes that really strong call to action.
Yeah. Revolution can't happen when there is prosperity, but that ship has sailed, and it is time to rise up and make a positive change for those who have been left behind.
That's intense. Revolution.
It is. It frames their work not just as innovation, but as a necessary response to global failure, a sense of urgency, of social responsibility. It's saying the old ways aren't working for everyone, maybe prosperity is gone for many, so now is the time for fundamental change.
And they wrap that section by saying, development will now mostly focus on making the goal of SORA v3 a reality.
Which signals a major strategic shift. This humanitarian vision isn't just talk, it's now the primary driver of their development roadmap.
Okay, wow. That's a lot to take in on the vision side. Let's move to segment 5, behind the scenes. Looking at business progress, future foundations, they really put a spotlight on SORA card resources here, showing they're documenting things thoroughly. They tell you, read the transcript of the recent SORA card launch AMA in the SORA Telegram chat.
Which is great for transparency, giving direct access to Q&A sessions.
And they list a whole bunch of articles, an intro to the card, key features, comparisons to other crypto banking services, interviews with the team, an article on Phase 1, the AMA recap.
Yeah, that's extensive documentation. It shows a real commitment to explaining what they're doing, how it works, how it compares. It lets people really dig in, builds trust by showing their work.
Definitely feels like they've put a ton of effort into the card and want people to understand it. And that slogan they highlight, SORA card value freedom.
It ties right back into that bigger vision we were just discussing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's not just a piece of plastic. It's about enabling autonomy, financial freedom.
Exactly. It encapsulates that philosophy. Technology as a tool for individual empowerment. It aligns perfectly with their emphasis on self-custody, too. The idea that you control your assets, not some bank or intermediary. It's a shift from just using a service to actually exercising financial sovereignty.
And speaking of wallets and self-custody, they talk about SORA v2 builders and their wallet vision, mentioning building a customized wallet for a project building on SORA, so enabling others.
Right, fostering an ecosystem, not just their own wallet, but tools for others building on their network.
And of course, routine code and system maintenance operations, the essential stuff.
But notice the consistent theme again. Self-custody, user empowerment. They reiterate SORA's dedication to designing the future for the people, ensuring everyone must have the power to access their finances anywhere, anytime.
A direct challenge to traditional banking limits.
Absolutely. And they position wallets as more than just containers for money. They're critical infrastructure for a new economic order, where self-custody keeps people's digital belongings safe. It's about shifting control back to the individual. Real ownership. And by building custom wallets for partners, they're spreading that infrastructure, enabling more diverse uses within this new order.
They also mention they continuously collaborate with external partners for testing and release.
Which is crucial for ensuring those wallet solutions are secure, robust, and actually work well in the real world before they get deployed widely.
Okay, now let's look at the architecture for SORA v3 itself, the hub chain and the Fujiwara testnet. They say progress is being made on implementing the architecture for the hub chain by the SORA and Hyperledger Iroha 2 teams.
Okay, that collaboration is interesting. Hyperledger Iroha 2 is known as a pretty robust, often enterprise-focused permissioned blockchain platform. Good for things needing high speed, identity management, control.
So, combining strengths.
Seems like it. Yeah. Leveraging Iroha's capabilities for potentially some core foundational parts of this hub chain alongside SORA's own tech. And the vision for this hub chain is, well, massive. They call it the free chain that will connect the networks of the world economies into one world, one economy.
Free chain, what does that mean? No fees?
It could imply ultra-low or zero fees, definitely removing traditional cost barriers.
Yeah.
But also likely means open, permissionless access, breaking down the walls between national economies, financial silos, creating this global interconnected system for value exchange. That one world, one economy goal is incredibly ambitious.
Hugely ambitious. And it's not just talk. They've launched the Fujiwara testnet,
right,
where the community can already set up a validator and participate in the security of tomorrow's financial system. They even give the wiki link for running a node.
That's a critical step. moving from concept to something testable, something the community can actively engage with. Running a validator on the testnet means you're helping test the system, find bugs, stress test the security, contribute to the consensus, literally helping build and secure this future financial system they envision.
So it's an open invitation to participate.
Exactly. It's a collaborative development and security. Distributing that responsibility aligns perfectly with their decentralization ethos. It's a chance to be part of building it, not just watching.
So connecting the dots here, they're not just talking revolution and building for the forgotten. They're also actively working with governments. That seems almost contradictory, but maybe it's pragmatic.
It's definitely a dual strategy, and yeah, maybe pragmatic is the right word. It's what makes them stand out. On one side, you have SORA V3, the humanitarian focus, building for the unbanked, the marginalized, grassroots. On the other side, they're engaging with the establishment, leveraging expertise in working with ministries of finance and central banks. They're even designing transaction fee models to be attractive to institutional players like central banks.
So trying to bridge the gap.
Precisely. Creating a bridge between their decentralized vision and the existing regulated financial world. Recognizing that real widespread impact probably requires engaging on all fronts. It's complex, involving regulatory hurdles, tech integration, but potentially powerful.
And they give actual examples, which really helps make it concrete. They cite Derek Anderson. Palau introduces blockchain savings bonds with Soramitsu.
Yep, Soramitsu is the company behind SORA, so that's Palau, a sovereign nation using their tech for savings bonds, likely more transparent, efficient issuance and tracking, a real-world government use case.
And also, FinTech Futures. Papua New Guinea's central bank successfully completes CBDC.
Another major one, Papua New Guinea, piloting a central bank digital currency, likely using Soramitsu tech, shows they can support these large-scale national initiatives needing high security and compliance. So these examples prove their tech isn't just theoretical, it's being deployed at a national level. It underscores that dual strategy building for the bottom-up revolution while also working top-down with existing institutions. It's how they seem to be tackling that one world, one economy vision.
Okay, as we wrap up this deep dive into the SORA ecosystem update, #88, wow, it's clear we've covered a huge amount of ground. We started with that core theme, SORA's resilience, their commitment to building even amid global chaos.
No, we keep on building mantra.
Then we navigated the tech side of V2, tackling the Kusama core time issues, optimizing rewards, the big strides with the SORA wallet, and especially the SORA card's on-off ramp.
While being pretty open about the security challenges and the confidential partner work happening too.
Exactly. And then maybe the most compelling part was diving into that profound humanitarian vision for SORA V3.
Yeah, positioning it explicitly, not for the speculators, but for those genuinely left behind, aiming for fundamental survival and empowerment.
It's such a bold stance, challenging both traditional finance and a lot of the crypto space. And it seems to be driving their focus now, even while they engage institutions.
That dual approach, grassroots focus, institutional engagement, is really key to their strategy, it seems.
So this whole deep dive really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? In a world that feels increasingly divided, where resources are scarce for so many, could a system like SORA, decentralized and driven by these values, actually be a key? Could it unlock real economic freedom for those most in need? A freedom that's not just about moving money, but about basics: food, healthcare, education. What does a world look like if that vision actually gains traction?
It really forces you to think about the potential impact of technology when it's driven by such a clear social purpose, not just profit. It challenges our ideas about what financial systems are for and who they should serve.
It's definitely food for thought. If you listening want to dig even deeper into all this, we absolutely recommend checking out the SORA integrated plan. That's at sora.org plan.
Yeah, and all those org card articles they mentioned in the Medium post are worth reading too. They lay out a lot of the details we touched on.
They really give you the full picture, the tech, the strategy, and that powerful philosophy driving it all.
A chance to really immerse yourself in their vision.
Well, this has been our deep dive into the SORA ecosystem updates, #88. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Stay tuned for more insights into this ever-changing world around us.